YouTube, and welcome back to another Minion Moto Show episode where I'm just sitting here talking crap about random shit. Today I want to talk about tubeless tire system compared to Moose compared to regular all-around tubes. Okay, my thing is everyone likes to try to reinvent the gosh dang wheel when it comes to this stuff, and in my opinion it's kind of retarded. And I don't mean like if you have a mental disability, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying, like, everyone wants to be like, oh yeah, tubes are the best, or Moose is the best, or the tubeless system is the best because you can control your air pressure and da-da-da-da-da. It's like you can control the air pressure in a tube as well. The other thing, you can't like run 5 psi and you'll get a pinch flat and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, you know what? Who cares? Why do you want to run 5 psi anyhow? The only damn time that I would want to run 5 psi myself is if I'm out in the sand dunes of Glamis. Like, straight up, dude. There's no point in running less than 10 psi, in my opinion, unless if you're riding in the sand with a paddle tire. And even at that point, does it really matter? Because once you have that low of air pressure in the sand, that tire is going to really widen out, and it's going to be just way too dang soft at 5 psi. I understand that when you have lower air pressure in your tire in the sand, it makes the tire a little bit wider, which means you'll have a wider footprint, which means more grip. Yes, that is true. You will have a wider footprint, which means you'll have better grip. But the only times that really works and helps you is in the sand. Now, if you're in a rock crawler, you know, or in a Jeep or something, like in the Jeep Jamboree or something up there by Lake Tahoe, yeah, you're gonna want a little bit lower air pressure for that, but you're still going to get a flat tire no matter what you do, unless if you're running Moose. But the problem with Moose is it doesn't fit every single size tire, because it mainly fits more or less 110 wide. Now, when you're like me and you have a 120 on the back, Moose isn't gonna do shit for me. I'm not out there in the Utah, Moab area hitting these sharp ass rocks and stuff, so I don't need the Moose. I don't want to run air pressure or tubeless, because, you know, for me to run tubeless, that means I'd have to carry tire plugs with my ass, and my tire would be completely flat if I, you know, like when Randy was in town, I ended up running over a nail with the back tire of my bike. But guess what? I was maybe a mile from my truck, the nail was still in my tire, and I still had about 3 to 5 psi left in my tire. And by the time I got my bike to, you know, Gabe and Elizabeth at DTS, yeah, my tire was flat, but guess what? It still had enough cushion there with the tube and the tire to where I was able to roll my bike and not really even realize that I had that much, not really have much of a noticeable difference, to where I was like, oh crap, I can't do anything on my bike. Like if I was 2 or 3 miles from my truck with a tube and a flat tire, guess what? I would still be able to make it to my truck, because of the fact that there was enough cushion there to get me back to my truck. Not with the tubeless system. The tubeless system is this little rim lock, or right in the middle of the rim where it drops down, you know. It's got this weird rim tape thing that seals it up, and that's not going to give you any cushion at all. So if you get a flat tire and you don't have plugs or whatever, then you're basically riding on the rim and the tire, and the rim's going to be, you know, the edge of the, on the bead of the rim, which is going to probably cut right through your tire. And then now you just wasted $150 tire because you wanted to run tubeless, you know. But now if you're out, like I said, if you're out in the sand, out in Glamis or something, or it's nothing but sand dunes, fine, run tubeless, dude. Like, that would make sense to me, because at that point you're not going to get a flat tire, you know, riding in the sand for the most part, unless if you hit a huge kicker and then you case the hell out of it and you slam the back tire down and somehow blow out the back tire. And then if you do blow out the back tire or the front tire, who cares? You can ride your bike in the sand back to your truck or whatever and be able to not destroy your tire or your rim while running tubeless. Moose, I think Moose would be okay in the sand, but it's like, it's just a real stiff styrofoam, like a pool noodle, basically. If you took a pool noodle and put it into a circle and taped it together, that's basically what Moose is. And that's like 150 bucks or something like that, 130 to 150 bucks. And I understand that is for you, so you can, you know, don't have to worry about getting a flat, and you can hit sharp rocks and go up ledges or whatever and not have to worry about it. But it's such a dense piece of foam that you feel it, and then you can't you won't be able to adjust air pressure if you're able to. Like, you know, you can get one of those little things for like 10 bucks on Amazon where you can let air out and it tells you what your pressure's at. And you can get these little tiny tire pump things that are maybe 6-8 inches long, and you can just pump the air back, the tire back up a little bit if you need to or want to. But you know, for me, I'm running tubes. I can't justify spending $300 on Moose or tubeless system. I mean, you know, knock on wood, I've only ever gotten one flat tire in the 20 years that I've been riding dirt bikes, and I thank God for that. And that just happened to be when Randy was here, and you know, down in my area, because I just happened to run over a damn nail. So, and it was just a odd thing and misfortunate thing. So, but I'd rather spend 16 bucks plus tax to change a tube and then pay Gabe, you know, 15 bucks or whatever to change my tube, and then turn the tire around so I have that sharp edge on the knobs biting. So 30 bucks I'll have a brand new tube, and I don't really do anything worth a shit to cause me to get flat tires all that often. Someone's gonna be like, oh, well, then you're not a real rider, you're not pushing hard enough, you're not riding hard trails or whatever. And it's like, you know what? Like I've said in my old videos, I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody. I ain't out there trying to be the next Graham Jarvis. I'm just out there trying to have fun. Get out of town for a bit, get away from people for a bit, see some views, and enjoy myself. That's the big reason why I ride. Nothing else. Plus I just like riding. So anyways, that's my thought on the whole tubeless moose and tubes type deal. It makes sense for certain things, but it doesn't make sense for everything, no matter what it is, except for tubes. Tubes make sense for everything. So catch you guys on the flip side. Deuces.